What's up? It's Cardboard Hobby back with another what do you know, T206 video. This time I decided to do a video on the Black Sox Scandal and some of the players that were involved in the scandal, at least from the T206 set. And if you don't know about the Black Sox Scandal, it was a scandal that happened during the 1919 World Series between the Chicago White Sox and the Cincinnati Reds, and it involved 8 players from the Chicago White Sox who all agreed to throw the game and allow the Reds to win, because everyone at the time figured that the White Sox were going to just dominate the Reds, and so everyone was betting on the White Sox to win. However, if the Reds were to win, it would have been a huge payout. So this guy, Gandil, negotiated with some mobsters, gangsters, one of which was Arnold Rothstein, who was one of the key key figures in the HBO series Boardwalk Empire, and actually Gandil was mentioned a couple times in the show. And so yeah, he negotiated this whole thing, and he was definitely the ringleader in this whole scandal. And then we have Gandil's right-hand man, Sleepy Bill Burns. His nickname was Sleepy, I guess, because he looked like he was sleeping a lot when he was playing. But he wasn't a player at the time that this scandal happened. This card was 9 years prior, but at the time he was on the White Sox when this card was printed. But yeah, he definitely had another integral part in negotiating the bet. Then we have Eddie Seacott. This guy was another huge part in the whole scandal. He was big in the scandal. He had a big role in the scandal because the mobsters like Rothstein and some of the other people in the underworld of betting and gambling needed some sort of sign that this was in fact going to go down, and they needed proof. They needed proof by the players that they're in fact going to throw the games, and so they told him to hit a player on the second pitch of the first game of the World Series, and so he in fact did hit a Reds player, and that really set things off and proved that this is going to go down. It's a shame too, because Eddie Seacott would have easily been a Hall of Fame pitcher had he not been involved in this scandal. And we have Gene Dubach. I don't really know if he had much of a role in this, but there's rumor that he knew about the scandal happening before it was actually happening. I guess he knew about the plans, supposedly, but again, he wasn't a player either. He was retired at the time, but he's pictured as a Reds player in this. But yeah, this is Sovereign back. So we don't know whether or not he was involved, but he was definitely talked about during the trial. Another player they couldn't really prove was involved in the scandal was Hal Chase. Hal Chase was also retired at the time. Well, he wasn't retired. He was forced out of baseball because a couple years prior to the 1919 scandal, he was kicked out of baseball for actually throwing some games. So it's not far-fetched that he was also involved in negotiating the bets, and he was definitely talked about a lot in the trial. And I'm actually missing 3 of his cards. He has 3 other action poses, but I have kind of his rarest card, the pink background portrait. And the blue background is a little easier to get. And then we got Eddie Collins. Eddie Collins is not one of the 8 players involved in the scandal. However, he was on the White Sox team at the time, but he had no idea that his other teammates were trying to lose against the Reds. And actually, Gandil and Bill Burns both confessed during the trial that Eddie Collins knew nothing about this, which is good because Eddie Collins ended up getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, and he was just an outstanding player. So yeah, these are all the players from the T206 set that had some sort of involvement in the Black Sox scandal. Again, there's some other players that are involved, most notably Joe Jackson, but Joe Jackson was not included in the T206 set. It was just kind of a fun, easy set put together of some of the Black Sox players or people that are involved during that time. So thanks for watching.